cut it back here about halfway. See this gauge right here? As I open this up, this gauge will match up. See that over there? Now it's not leaking because I put that water around it. Something else here, I'll explain it in the truck. Okay, now that last valve that I opened up, that splits the air between pushing through the air line that pushes the product, or it goes across the trailer and goes into the vibrators, which fluffs the cement so it'll flow. With this trailer here, it seems to work out pretty good, where when I start pumping, I generally will open that about a quarter to halfway. It allows more air to push through the line, to push the cement instead of it going into the tank, because this tank builds pressure fairly easy. It'll get away from you. And then you'll have what they call the pop-off, goes off on the blower. And when that valve opens up, it don't allow the blower to push as hard because all the air is going out that valve. And then you get clogged up. And also, this truck here has to be equipped with an air mag gauge, suspension gauge, and I can watch my unloading procedure through that. When that thing gets down about right here on that back pot, I'm pretty close to empty. When it gets down to 40, my middle one's empty. When I get down here to about 10, I'm empty altogether. So, like I said, I'll kind of try to walk you through everything here as I go. But pretty much just how I opened everything up there is pretty much you just follow that same procedure through all three pots, except you don't close your air back off. You know, you'll see how the gauge drops down. I'll show you. I'll show you on the next one, then I'll probably skip over everything else because everything else was in yesterday's video. How to do the clean out and all that stuff. Also, guys, I'll say this here too, when you're unloading, if you use the same truck all the time, the same trailer, pretty much same truck is all you need, but if you use the same truck and trailer, you will especially know, you can always tell when you're almost got a pot empty. You just tell by the change in the pitch of the blower and stuff. Like I'm getting pretty close right now. It's starting to run down. Like you see where I was about 16 pounds on my tank pressure. It's getting close. I'm gonna go out here and check it. And I'll just take you guys, I'll leave this run till you guys go along with me. Start dropping. That one open. starts dropping off, I'll close this other one. See how the tank pressure is dropping? Now I'm going to close this one. Now, just a reminder, if you're going to sit up here in your truck, you got to also remember, and even if you're standing out there, pay attention to your trailer. I said, I've been doing this a while. I'm not going to sit here and sound better than anybody else because I can clog up just as quick as anyone else as a new guy or whatever. It happens. I don't care who you are or where you're at and where you're unloading. I mean, it happens. You get clogged up. But you need to pay attention. You know, check back here and check your gauges. I mean, even if that hose is still back there bouncing around like it is right now, doesn't mean your pressure ain't getting away from you, and then you're going to end up going against your pop off, and then you clog. See, you can see that right there, how fast that's dropping off. And this middle pot open, it unloads fast. I mean, this is probably going to be kind of a long video, and I don't mean it to be. Hopefully I can edit it enough that it ain't real long. But I'm going to go ahead and go through everything, even the stuff I did yesterday, except for the unhook. And I'm not going to show that. It's already been shown. But I got to step out here and check it now. Sounds like my pressure's getting built way up high. Yeah, see how high it is? Open that up all the way. And your pressure should start dropping down some. When you got your hose moving like that, I mean, you're kicking your load off pretty daggone good. See the pressure starting to drop again. I've said in some of my earlier videos, this gauge don't mean nothing. It's just my suspension gauge. It's for my airbag. I mean, it helps you when you're unloading, but you don't need to use it. Leave that open. There's that pressure starting to drop down again. We'll close our middle pot. See how it's starting to drop? Now we're going to close the middle one here in just a second. Down to that right here. Another thing, don't let your pressure get too low, because as that starts to drop, it'll drop real fast if you let it get away from you. See, I wanted to get about right there. I better go close it. See, it was right about where I wanted to be. It's down heavier, but this little gauge does help you out when you're unloading, because you're up here about 70. When you unload, you end up coming down here about the 42, and then you're usually down here about 22 when your middle one's empty, and whenever you're totally empty, you're down here about 10. So it works just kind of the opposite of what your one in a truck does. I unload my way, individually, everybody. There's 1,000 different ways to unload these trailers, but the basics of how they work is this. You pressurize your tank. Your tank puts pressure in the tank. It also makes the product pressurized. It's like a bottle of pop, so to speak. If you take a bottle of pop, soda, I should say, in case anybody sees this, not familiar with it being called pop. But if you take a bottle of soda and you shake it up when it's really carbonated and you open up the bottle, the soda's going to come rushing out. Same theory with this tank. But if once you've opened it up and there ain't no air in there, you know, nothing's going to come out. Kind of same theory. And what you're doing, instead of opening up one hole and letting it all come out, you're doing it in 3 separate compartments. So, very easy, very simple, but difficult when you're trying to learn it. It ain't something you're going to pick up in one day for the most part. You're going to have to have a couple days on it. And yes, it can be dangerous. If you open up, take one of the hoses off and there's pressure on it, I think it can blow your dang on head off. Same way with the top up there. A lot of people get killed like that. They forget to blow the trailers down. They go to get their next load and open that lid. And that son of a gun, what happens is a lot of times they'll blow them off a trailer, and then of course they end up landing on their head and it kills them or something. So, still dangerous, but yet simple. I mean, if I can do it, anybody can do it, because I'm a very simple person. Alrighty. I'll take you out here to clean this thing out here in a couple minutes. Oh, what I meant to tell you was this too. Not everybody unloads these the same. I unload mine, I pressurize the tank. You know, doesn't matter. Different companies, different trucks, different trailers, they all unload different pressures. But I unload mine at about 15 pounds for the most part. I build it up to 15, let it run to 15. When it drops down a couple pounds, and you hear the vibrators, I generally, as soon as it drops about 2 or 3 pounds, I open up my next pot and leave the first pot open. And that pressure will equalize, it'll stay there for a few minutes, and then when it starts dropping again, and that back pot's empty, I'll close it, and then I'll just repeat that. And then whenever I get to the point where the trailer's empty, I do the whole thing here where I did yesterday. I build it up to about 10 pounds, open it up with no air pushing it, and let it drain down a little bit, build it back up to 10, do the same thing. Now the front pot, being the aerators ain't exactly right on this thing, I let it up to 15 and let it go clear down to 0, and then your trailer's cleaned out. You know, that way if you want to haul something else you can. Alrighty guys, I'll go out here and finish doing the clean out on this thing. I did want to mention this too. Another thing you got to watch your pressure. Not only do you got to watch it don't get away from you climbing up. Sometimes when you open your valves all the way like I did there on the second one, sometimes you got to watch because your pressure will drop so low that it will still unload, but it'll unload slow. You got to get back and back your pressure back off. Alright, now I'm going to jump out here and do this clean out. How that gauge is zeroing out. Up there about 10 pounds. That one's empty. Probably hard for y'all to see, but it's up there about 10 pounds now. We'll open this one up. Another way you can tell the vibrators get extremely loud. That hose will stop moving too. A little more in there than I thought there was. But now she's going empty. Listen, you hear that thing get louder. Hear that? Empty. clean out the line. Clean out all that line all the way up. See, that's cleaned out the line there. Sometimes you can't get all the pressure off. Now, just like yesterday, turn your cruise off. Turn your PTO off. And the rest, being it's raining, the rest of it's pretty simple. Go out here, hit the blow down, and take all your hoses off and everything. And you're ready to leave and on to your next adventure. Hey, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Have a good day. Stay dry.